We're on Cuban time this week down here in Veradero with this filming, but we still wanted to get some MLS Week 18 picks out there for the weekend. Let's start it off with Chicago and Columbus. Chicago has been shut out in back-to-back games, 1-0 against Cincinnati and 0-0 in Toronto. They're 14th in the East with just 17 points. But both of those results did come on the road. At home, Chicago was still undefeated at 2-6-0. There may be a lot of draws, but they were actually undefeated in their past 11 home games across all competitions, dating back to last season at 5-6-0. That was prior to Tuesday when they played at home to Houston in the U.S. Open Cup, and they lost 4-1. Sticking to this season in MLS play and the U.S. Open Cup, the Fire have scored in 10 of 11 at Soldier Field, but also conceding in 8 of those 11 games as well. After last week's 4-2 home win over Charlotte, Columbus have won 2 in a row and are 5th in the conference. They'd already been eliminated from the U.S. Open Cup, so they're going to be fresher this week, having not played during the week. Columbus ranks right behind Atlanta for goals per match at 3.6 this season. The Crew won 4-2 at home to Charlotte last weekend, their fourth straight game that's seen goals from both teams and at least 3 or more goals being scored. Crew games average the second highest goals per game this season at 3.6. That's right behind Atlanta's highest goals scored per game. Their recent scorelines of 4-2 was a win, 3-2 win, a 3-1 loss. They've helped to elevate that figure. Including the U.S. Open Cup, the Crew have lost each of their past 3 on the road, though, being outscored 7-3. They've also only won 3 of their past 16 on the road, conceding a goal or more in 15 of those 16, and in 17 of 18 of their past road games. A bet on both teams scoring would be 15-3 in those games for the Crew, and a bet on both teams scoring in at least 3 or more goals has also happened in 6 of the past 7 for Columbus, and that's how we are going to bet this one. Let's go Chicago and Columbus, both teams to score in over 2.5, with 2 teams that like to score and are struggling to defend. Next, we'll go to New England and Miami. Neither of these teams have had much success of late. New England have been drawn 3 straight games, and they're winless in 6 across all competitions. But it's the Revs who are up in 4th place with 27 points, and the Herons way down at the bottom of the East table with 15 points. While New England only has 2 more wins, 7 versus 5, than Miami, it's been Miami's inability to get any draws that is really hurting them. They've drawn 0 times, and they're the only team who have 0 draws this season, while also having the most losses, 11, and also being the only team with double-digit losses in the league. They did win 1-0 in the U.S. Open Cup this week, though, in Birmingham. Still, it was Miami that came out on top when these teams met a few weeks ago on May 13th in Miami, with the Herons winning 2-1. But I'm looking for a different result this time, though. New England's slide has coincided with 4 of 6 being on the road and with numerous injuries. They're back at home this weekend where they're undefeated at 4-3-0, and Gustavo Bo returned to the lineup last week. Miami is 1-0-6 on the road with just 3 goals scored and 9 conceded. They fired head coach Phil Neville last week, and they just don't look like a team who's going to go into New England and get the win. Leo Messi isn't here yet to save them, so let's go New England win and to score over 1.5 goals in that game. There's 2 games on Sunday this week, so let's do a 2-team parlay with that. And we'll start off with Portland and Dallas. That's the later game. Portland remained undefeated against their Cascadia rivals in Seattle last week for now their 8 straight games after last week's 0-0 draw. That's one bright spot as they are just 4, 5, and 7, and they're 10th in the West with 17 points. That's 9 points back of Dallas, who are 4th in the West. Dallas fell victim to Hani Mukhtar and the Yotes last weekend, falling 2-1 at home. They then won 2-0 at home to St. Louis on Wednesday. Now they go on the road where they're just 2-3-3 this season. Those 2 wins are their only 2 over their past 11 road games dating back into last season. However, they have scored a goal in 8 of 9 recent road games. The last 3 meetings have all seen both teams scoring between these teams. It was 1-1 earlier this season in April as well. Last season, they also drew 1-1, and Dallas won 4-1. While Portland's last match was scoreless, they're winless in 4, and they have only scored 1 goal in those 4. 3 of those 4 games were on the road. At Providence Park, across all competitions where they'll be this weekend, they had scored 15 goals in their previous 5 at home. They've also scored in 17 of 19 recent home games. For Dallas, both teams have scored in 5 of 6 games, and that's how we're going to bet this one. Both teams to score with Portland and Dallas in the first one leg of the parlay. And the other leg of the parlay will be in St. Louis and the LA Galaxy. Now, I think St. Louis at home probably is going to win this game, especially with Chicharito now done with a torn ACL for the Galaxy. But if you want to do with this parlay, I'm just going to ask St. Louis just simply to score a goal. They have the second highest goal scored this season at 32, and they're first in the West. The Galaxy have conceded 26 goals, which is the second most in the West, and they're dead last in the conference with a league low 12 points And like I said, now their star player, Chicharito, is now done for the season. St. Louis has scored in 7 of 8 at home this season, and they have a combined 10 goals scored in their past 3 at home. I'm just going to ask them to get a goal. St. Louis to score, Portland, Dallas. Both teams to score, with New England to win and score at least 2 goals against Miami, and both teams to score and over 2.5 with Chicago and Columbus. Those are my picks this weekend. Good luck with yours. Be sure to give the video a like and a subscribe on your way out, and good luck with your picks this weekend, everybody.